All right, guys, we're gonna go over using the Fibonacci. All right, so the Fibonacci indicator. Personally, I just use it for pullbacks, so that way it helps with the mentality, so you don't get scared out of your trades. This is a pretty good day to use it right here. Uh, so if you see, right, if you just take like confluences off of like previous day lows, we have a decent little trend line right there, right? You could have taken the bounce off the trend both times for the day. This one would have went crazy. But typically we're done trading by then. It's already 1 o'clock right here, so you just wait for that next setup tomorrow, or the next day, which obviously was crazy. But so let's say we see this, right, and I'm saying I want to enter calls because I see we consolidated here. We're moving up in the pre-market. We're not making any new lows yet, so I'm looking for a liquidity grab, typically to your previous highs, right? But in this instance, I would just take it to either this is a good resistance or this is a good resistance. So this was the initial resistance I wanted, right? So let's say we mark these out. Okay, so as you're trading, we can mark out areas of resistance. Boom. Okay, so then we go to the trade, right? So now we could go to right here, just because this is right above. I mean, there's little wicks you don't have to worry about, just bodies of the candle, just wherever price touched most, right? This is what I do when I'm charting. So whatever price touches most, so we break above it. So as far as I'm concerned, we're bullish above this, and then we could use this as a stop loss, right? So we get this, we get in, boom, green. There's a green trade. We straight hit our TP right there. So this is a time that you would trim. So you could trim, like if I'm in 10 contracts, I would probably sell about 7 or 8 of them here because this is my original TP. So you could take it all the way, but let's say it's not we didn't get all the way where I wanted, and we see all these wicks. All these wicks is areas of liquidity, right? Price needs to come back and grab this. There's no like fair value gap formed to the downside to invert it. So it's, to me, this right here still looks like a perfect pullback, right? But okay, I'm new to trading. I'm not entirely sure. So we could go to our Fibonacci, and you take it from, you go from the swing high to the swing low, right? Which would be the wick to wick. So swing low, swing high. And then all I have on my Fibonacci is the 50%, right? The 0.382. This is your golden zone. And then your 100% and 0, right? So this is a time that we get back to here and we see this whole bounce. You could take calls from here. So this is like our confirmation that we want to go back up because we just formed a little fair value gap, right? Now it did come down a little bit more below it. Like if you were to use this as a stop loss, you probably would have stopped out. But you see, we got a small body candle right there. So I would try to get as close as I can to here. Which on this red candle, that's like a perfect buy opportunity to take it to the next level. So that is pretty much how you use the Fibonacci, right? If it comes back, if it goes below 50%, I would stop out, and if it goes below 0.382, I'm out. You could use this as a last line defense, which would have worked. Like if you were waiting all day, you missed this, and you're just waiting for price to come back to here, then by all means, yeah. As long as this didn't scare you out, this would have probably scared out a bunch of people, but you would have taken that straight up. What's that? 561 to 568.92. That's crazy. $7 move. You would bank on that. But even from our open, right, from our 560 to our 563.50, that's a $3.50 move. So that's a 1 to 3. That's a beautiful setup. Like, this is just one and done right there. Let's find an example where it got disrespected. Okay, here we go. We could use this. So let's delete these zones, right? So, okay, we come up. We got previous highs right here. So, you know, this is a good, unless we break up here, I'm still bearish on it, right? So we come down, we're waiting. Boom, we get this pivot point right here, right? So boom, swing high to swing low. Okay, so now, you know, we come up to here, wait, let me flip that. My bad. Let me flip that to the swing high. Okay, so we come up to 50 and we break straight through it, right? And then boom, hold above it, break through. So after you break through the 50, really, so there's so many different things that go into trading, really. But as soon as you break the 50, you could also use it for a pullback and a bounce to at least previous highs to this to see where it was at. But I wouldn't even touch it. Like, if you miss this and you miss this, it is what it is. But that's how you could use the fib. As soon as this candle close right there, that's a pretty strong candle close above, and then you could take that entry right there and then hold through that, or add. Unless it closes below, you know, I don't really think it's a good trade. But for this, bada bing, bada boom, we have this downtrend, right? So we break through it and never retest. So this is just like a beautiful V, right? So usually when it does this, you could trim each area of liquidity at the top, right? So you could trim here, right? And this also ended up being a bounce point. You could trim here. Also ended up being a bounce point here. Trim there. So, I mean, really just this way up. Trim, and you're good. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to skin the cat with that, but that's pretty much all I use my fib for. Is just like, okay, let's make sure that the pullback's good. Let's see if we want to add, like right here. You know, this was a fair value gap. You just have to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room, right? We have a huge bullish movement, and we know we want to go up. So then we come down, but we never break and close below these lows, right? Like, we're still above it. So we're still bullish until we break. I mean, really break below here. But yeah, so we just wicked. Excuse me. This could be a good entry because we're staying above it, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 20, 25 minutes of bouncing on this support after a huge bullish move, leaving a bullish fair value gap. You take it to the upside. And then even for this pullback here, it's like, okay, let's see. Yeah, take it to the bottom. But see, it didn't even come back to the 50. So, you know, you can't use it for every trade. It's just, you know, when you have to use it, if that makes sense. Like, you'll learn along the way from charting. This day was so ugly. We caught puts to here and called that a day. I think that's what I started with. Okay, here we go. Swing high, swing low. Boom, broke straight through the 50. So I would not take calls here because we did not bounce here. We have too much to grab to here, right? Yeah, see, that ended up perfect. So this is something that would just be like, I'll take a bounce off of here, but you're waiting until 130 for that. When in reality, you know, if you miss this move, it just went up the whole afternoon until, 10:50, 11 o'clock, right? So this right here, boom, we get a little for value gap, which I'll get into my next videos. But that's how I use the Fibonacci and how I would apply it. In order to get the Fibonacci, you go to your, oh, see, now it messed me up. I need the full screen on it. Video capture. Charts, there we go. Boom. Okay. Cool. So you go to indicators. Oop, sorry. You go to the side, fib retracement, favorite it. And then when you're on it, right, there is a lot of there's a lot of settings, right? So you draw, you go to your settings, and this is what you want your settings to look like. 0.382, 1.5. You could use the same, yeah, I use a trend line in it too as well if you wanted to. It's just that middle line. But yeah, so it's up to you. Prices, levels, text. Make sure you guys get all that. Visibility, what time frame you want to see it on after you draw it. Yeah, that is your Fibonacci. And next we will go to RSIs. All right, hope you guys enjoyed, learned something. Talk to you soon.